empty string in there.
Yeah, but if the user interface breaks down, if there is an empty string, or then I'd say that is a bug.
It isn't a bug. It's just that the commands don't get registered. Sorry, the settings don't get registered, so it doesn't get added to the database. So like I think it's just like a note for developers. Just like a comment there saying that the setting values can't be empty. And I think maybe that should also be something that we tell the users as well. If they leave like whenever they're filling the form for the settings, if they leave a column empty. I don't know if that's validated. Maybe it's valid.
Yeah. Okay, let's we'll get back to that. Let's get started. Welcome to the Rewards Working Group meeting, the weekly, March 2nd. And we have some stuff on the agenda today. So except for regular status updates, I'd say the main talking points are the upcoming first quant certification and also source cred. I think we should talk about the second params session that we had the other day. So I really hope, let's see if I could, it would be great if Matteo or Antti or both would be here. Let's see if we can ping them. How do you do that thing when you invite people to your meeting? That button disappears sometimes.
You can right-click on the reward system chat, and it says invite people.
Yeah. Okay, so let's invite Matteo and I'm no good multitasking, that kind of stuff. So let's begin and see if they come later. Praise updates, front end, back end, and bot. Who would like to go first? Front and back end mostly tied together. Perhaps Nebs would like to go?
Yeah, okay. So I did sanitization of I think all input fields, and that was on backend and front end also. And I was changing export document. I'm still testing that, and we'll push soon. Right now I'm fixing small bugs that we have, warnings, errors, and stuff like that we have linting warnings and errors. And I don't know.
Yeah, to add some context about the export thing, we Nugget realized when taking the export I made and pushing it into the RAD dashboard that some additional fields were needed to do a proper analysis. So we are adding those fields to the export.
Yeah.
And sanitization is about making sure that the inputs that come into the backend are characters and stuff that could screw up the database. And then the last thing you mentioned, like fixing a bunch of small linting errors, is about refactoring and raising the quality of the code base in general.
Yeah, and after that we will do automatic testing of automatic check for linting errors and stuff like that.
Yeah, that one would be great when that would be great when we have that in place. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you. Matt.
Hey, I did a few I did like 2 tickets to just kind of improve the performance of 2 of those big queries, and then I just did a few minor like cleanup tickets, and my next one is improving the distribution of quantifiers assignments, and then if you want to hand me some others, fine.
Yeah, you have taken on the meaty, the optimization. I'm really grateful that you took that on, and the improvement has been huge. So now the user interface feels snappy again. When you reload the praise page, or that isn't affected, but yeah, opening a period like this just takes a second or 2 instead of like 10 seconds. So that is great. Thanks. What else can we say about Viva? Could you say something about the bot?
I've been doing some QA on the bot just to ensure that it's good to go. I found some small bugs and fixed them. Mostly it was like with the messages. Right now I've been working on the settings today, and I think I should be done in a day or so. So we're essentially separating the messages sent out by the bots. Previously they used to be hard coded. Now we're going to have those in the settings that are shown to the admin shown in the admin panel. And yeah, I'll probably work that mostly on that. And I think Christopher deployed the praise bot on the on production inside this current server, the actual TEC server, and it
Yeah.
looks like it's working fine. Just great. And another small minor update is that we made a team for bots on Discord. So if anyone's working on production explicitly, then they can maybe reach out and I can give them access to the team. Uh, if you like want the bot token. But like I don't think we should want that because Christopher already set it up. So yeah, that's it.
So let's demo it, and now it's and we are fast approaching the point in time where we actually could switch and start using the new bot. So let's let it run for a week or 2, and maybe we should move over to the real production server first, even though this server is running stably. The testing server we have been using, but yeah, I guess the bot is mostly good to go and ready for launch. So, do you see my screen now?
Yeah,
Yep.
we see.
Nice. So I have installed the bot. The bot is live on the TEC server, but I will let's not use it yet in the open channels at least. If we test it, let's test it in the rewards working group channel or the quantifier support channel, because otherwise it might sort of launch itself if people start using the new one. We could deactivate the praise command as well, but we haven't done so yet. Sorry.
Yeah, I found a quick fix for that. We can make a new role and just replace that praise giver functionality. Like you essentially needed a role to be able to praise.
Yeah.
So if no one else has the role, like we can have that role. Maybe the quantifiers role would work for this purpose.
Mhm.
So only the quantifiers would be able to use the bot and no one else.
Yeah.
And then whenever we're switching over, we can change that setting.
Sounds like a good idea. So here's the praise dashboard. Reloading the page now. Nothing there. Nothing new. And sending a praise here to myself. So praise Christopher for something. Blip. Praise sent. I receive a personal message saying you've been praised. Now with a link that takes me back to the channel where the praise was sent. And if I reload here, I should be able to see it here. And now my avatar disappeared. YYV, did you notice that? I had the avatar before I praised, and now it's gone. So perhaps the avatar ID doesn't upload or update like it should, and it should be
Yeah,
visible
I,
here. Yeah.
yeah, I still haven't taken a look at that.
So it's live and it works. That's what I wanted to show you. Do we have anything else to say about praise front and back and bots? Perhaps not. We are fixing mostly like stability issues. So the system is, like I said, it's running stably and is mostly ready for production. But the general plan is to use this week as the week of release. We will merge the current development branch into the main branch. So we're doing some cleaning up and documentation and that kind of stuff as well. And we will name this version 0.0.1 alpha version. And install it to the production server as well. So moving on to first quant preparations and executions. And it looks like we could go ahead and try to begin Monday. What do you say, Mitch?
Yeah, I mean, the system looks good. It seems like all of the issues reported were fixed with the praise dashboard. So we'll just need to get this praise bot working so that we can get everyone signed up in the praise dashboard, if I understood.
Yeah, and it is working. So currently you can run type in praise activate yourself now, and it works.
Great. So then, yeah, right after this call, we'll just sure all the quantifiers get signed up in a praise dashboard. And then we can open up a new quant for Monday. And I guess the next question is like, what period do we want to start with?
Yeah, I created a period. All the praise data is already imported. So I created a period that runs only for only 2 weeks, more or less, to end of July. And my thought was that it might be good to do a warm up.
So just
quant.
do like a 2-week slice?
Yeah. What do you think?
Totally agree there.
And
Yeah, sure.
not like it's a little bit like an additional practice run, but now we'll do it for real, and it will be different than the previous.
And then after this 2-week slice, do we want to open it up to do like a month at a time until we catch up?
I think so.
Okay.
And we have people like Tam saying, like, you know, she could do a quarter at a time. You know, just let's get it over with. But I think she's the exception. I don't think we would want to do quants where we place, you know, 1,000 praise to be quantified on each quantifier.
I also wouldn't mind
And,
spend like with a Saturday 8 hours quantifying just to get in, yeah, supporting them and getting get this price back to the actual. Like I think it would benefit the community so much. Get the praise in date.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is the signal. That is what Tam told me as well. That she also sees from different sources it would be really a good idea to have get it up and running soon.
Yeah, there's still some things on like the source CAD and the reward board end that we won't actually be able to distribute rewards as soon as the praise is quantified. What was the other thing I was gonna say? I got distracted. Oh yeah, migrating the URL. And will that affect anything in the database?
No, it won't because that won't mean an upgrade of the system or anything like we have done now. Now the upgrade we made was quite a major one because it's it was a major one. And when moving from this server to the other server, it's just an export and import into the database. It's a completely exactly the same setup. So we can do that whenever, basically. Not in the middle of a quant period, ideally, but.
All right, well then that seems pretty clear to me. Like probably during or right after this call, we'll make a call to quantifiers to activate, and then we'll create a period, and then we'll open it for quantification on Monday.
Yeah.
Well, you've created the period already, sorry. So we'll just open it for quantification on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, and the question I posed the question to you just before the meeting. If we, I could make an import script that exports and imports from the old database the users and their activated accounts. It's like, but it's also only you have to sign the Ethereum message to activate again. So do you think it's worth waiting for me doing that script, or
export import what?
All users. Now when you go to the quantifier pool, this list is empty. Because I had to clean out the database, and the quantifiers that were part of the test quant, they had already registered and activated their accounts.
And you have that data and you're able to import it back.
Yes, but I have to write a script to do it. We thought it would be easier to do it than it turned out to be. So it didn't go. we didn't find an automatic way to do it, so I have to write a script.
Right. And okay. Yeah.
But I could have it done before tomorrow, before lunch CET time. That is
Thursday.
Before you wake up, or we tell the quantifiers you just have to activate again.
How many people were in the pool? Like there was like 15 or something in there?
There were a total of like 36 users that had logged into the system.
After the
yeah, even if you... No, these were people that logged in afterwards.
You have 36.
But like 36 users, and maybe 20 of them had activated and connected Discord and their accounts. So.
Okay, well then let's wait then. We'll wait until then that's imported.
Okay. I'll ping you tomorrow when it's done.
Okay.
And maybe we should jump right ahead to the source cred and the second param session. Now, Antti is here. He joined that session, and I think we ended up in some sort of conclusion about the source cred params. Or Antti, what would you say? And Nuggen, you were there as well.
Hey, yeah. So Ben said that what it was like. He said first of all that he pretty much recommends the default parameters, but he said like it looked like you guys put a lot of thought into the parameters, and that those could work really well, but due to the algorithm, it's a bit unpredictable. The results of like you may change a bit of a parameter, and it can it is not as predictable the outcome that we'll have. Um, yeah, I think that was pretty much the summary of what we got into parameters.
Yeah, I think he also definitely recommended to to compare our parameters and the default ones and see how that looked, because he seemed pretty excited about all the thought we had put into it. But yeah, like Antti just said, he said that it was pretty convoluted how every parameter worked out in the end, so we couldn't just one-to-one control how the stuff would look like. But we should definitely try it out and just compare with the default to see if how it looked and how it changed the results.
He described the source cred algorithm as sort of a black box using this page rank algorithm, and so like you said, it's not entirely obvious what happens when you pull a lever, or you can see the results much sometime in the future. And but I asked him the quite clear question to have no, look at the settings you see on this page and tell us if something strikes your eye as being totally off or weird, or this you need to change. And he didn't say any he didn't find any parameters that he thought needed changing. And like you said, instead he seemed excited to see how these parameters play out. So what is the conclusion of all that? Matteo will, to begin with, clean out the current source cred instance so that the old grain distributions are not there anymore. And then we need to set the new settings, and then we need to set a first date for a grain distribution. So my proposal would be that we, unless we feel confident that we can come up with better settings, and now we have spoken to one of the core guys of source cred, and unless we feel confident that we can come up with something better than what we see on the screen, my proposal would be that we start off with these settings and set like the 25th of July or something as the first grain distribution date, and then grain distributions will be made weekly on Sundays, every Sunday, automatically, which means that we can, in every praise period, we can include 2 source cred grain distributions. Or maybe we can configure it to run bi-weekly, but that puts more pressure on us to also do the praise periods on the same interval. I'm not sure if you can or should change the interval when grain distributions are made. Well, once you have set it up, I guess it's better to just let it run on that on those settings. So letting it run weekly, then we are free to do praise periods whichever way we like, and then we just, if we need to, we combine several grain distributions into one. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, seems like a good option.
And one thing to keep in mind is that you cannot set a starting date for when SourceCred begins tracking contributions, which means that if we set the 25th of July, the Sunday, as the first grain distribution, that distribution will cover all contributions ever made up until that date, from when we first started using the Discord server, and from when we first started doing pull requests and comments and issues on GitHub. I don't know if that is a bug or a feature. He seemed unsure as well. But that is the way it is with SourceCred right now, at least.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
fine. Anyways,
it's how it is. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead. I wasn't going to say anything important.
No, me neither. I just want to say it is how it is. So yeah.
Yeah, and if we do weekly grain distributions, I guess then it of course will be very important to. I don't know how that works. If we set the date for the first grain distribution way back in the past, when are all the grain distributions between July 25th and current date? When are those made? Do we make those manually, one by one, just pressing a button? Maybe that's how it works, because it's a GitHub action that does the grain distributions. Maybe we have to trigger it once for every week between July 25th and now, and then we can put it on a schedule. But that means that we should do one after the first distribution. We should really look at the settings, and for the first few distributions, really look at the settings and adapt if something seems off. Because in between every distribution, we can of course change the settings and hope to affect the outcome. And he seemed uncertain if he described some sort of beyond human capacity to understand how to pull the levers to get a certain outcome.
If possible, now that you guys are starting, I would probably just make two runs, one with those parameters and one with the default, and just sort of get a sense of which one which result seems more appropriate, and go along with it.
Yeah, I think Matteo said that he was going to set up a parallel instance as well.
Yeah, I think.
But I'll make sure that he check with him that he does that, and like you said, then we can compare. But it feels at least like we have a general direction for the SourceCred implementation and setup, and something to try out and get started with, and that feels good. And according to Matteo, he could have it up and running by Monday, which means that in the best of worlds, and where everything goes smooth and as expected, then we can include that grain distribution in this first praise period quantification.
I know I kind of mention this like pretty much in every meeting, but I'm really interesting I'm really interested to know like what policies for the rewards be, or who makes the decisions in case something happens. For example, um, I don't know, what's considered gaming, what's not, what's to be incentivize the community.
You're cutting out.
Sorry, Andy, your audio is cutting up a bit.
I'm assuming that you've read the reward system document, the forum post. Well, I mean, the short answer is who decides if the system's being gamed or not. That's going to be done by the quantifiers themselves, who's looking at the praise data, and then on the other end, we're going to have the reward board, which is going to be looking at the whole distribution. And I mean, mostly everything should be approved, but if there's like some sort of gross gamification, like there is that last backstop there where a distribution could be rejected. If you're still there, and it answers your question.
Yeah. Can you repeat it, please, again?
Repeat what
You
part?
mentioned so the praise is like the process for the praise is taking the modifiers, and then the overall distribution is the
I can't
So,
hear you. Can you
sorry,
repeat?
Andy, it's impossible to hear what you say,
But I
unfortunately.
would say, like, have you read the reward system forum post?
yes.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
So you're familiar with like the reward board and the things that it's going to be doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that like that whole gamification talk, like usually I expect the reward board's going to be the final backstop for anything like weird from going out. But we're also going to be having like a community review process where like the distributions are going to be posted and then people can see like there's any anomalies or anything, and like we're going to have like an iteration process to catch any of these weird things.
And gamification in general within the praise data is not super easy to achieve. Like, of course, you can sort of praise contributions that have never been made, but if we have a pool of quantifiers that are knowledgeable about what goes on in the community and have a rough sense of who does what, then I guess any attempts of sort of gamifying and the actual praise data could be spotted quite easily, and that is my hope, at least. Then, of course, there is the sense of gamification of, what could it be, like some kind of contributions gets praised more than others. That is, but is that game, has someone tried to game the system, or is that just a cultural discussion about talking about what in general, what kind of contributions do we as a community value? But my hopes are that the solid practices and culture will build over time that makes gaming the system quite difficult. Should we talk anything more about praise education today? Does someone want to pick up that thread? Or should we hold off and take it another week?
I mean, did anybody take this on? Because I know like there was a lot of problems we were having with the rules of praise document, and just like it needs a facelift to reflect everything we found out. So That's like somebody that we would need to like incorporate all this data and make a more comprehensive forum post. That's right away what I can think of that needs to happen.
And Nate, you expressed some interest, or you to maybe perhaps write something.
Yeah. Currently, I'm doing for trying to write the script for the praise quantification, and then doing some documentation around the reward system. So, if there's anything that specifically needs to get done quickly, just let me know, and I can get that written up for you.
That's cool. I'd love to see what you're writing, and like if there's anything else, like if do you have all the information, or is there any more stuff that I can pass you from things that have already been written?
I think I've gotten the gist of everything that's been written. I think the only thing is the conversation that Christopher and I had before about whether we want to explicitly state the document what is being rewarded through source cred to avoid any type of gamification, or we should keep it vague to avoid that type of situation. So I think that's the only concern that I have with it. But Christopher, like you said before, if we can't handle the truth, then then why bother? So, yeah, that's just my thoughts. I don't know if anybody else has any dissenting opinions around that, but yeah.
I know that we have one thing came up during the test quants, and that was the need, or that it would be good to have some sort of help text readily accessible when quantifying. Like, these are things to keep in mind when quantifying, not like guidelines how to what score to give certain contributions, but more like this is how you do it, the quantification. But maybe that is so we haven't implemented that. I said that we might implement that before the first quant, some sort of maybe a small what do you call it, help screen that slides in from the side.
And would that include the duplication of praises? Like, do you want people to be informed about that situation?
Yeah, that would be a typical thing to inform about, to remind people that what is a duplicate praise, how is a duplicate praise valued, for instance, that it gets a percentage of the original value, original praise value.
Okay.
But yeah.
In terms of educating the praise quant people, the goal right now in the team DAO is to develop that animation video for it. I'm sure, and I just want to make sure that this is the right approach that we want to take in terms of making it a little bit more simple to educate praise quantifiers on the process. And if that's the case, do you want it more focused on the actual context of each praise and like what they should be looking for, or just explaining how it works from a an initial state perspective?
I think both perspectives are really vital.
Okay.
I don't know much about the animation or the intents there, but I guess that would be directed more towards like recruiting new quantifiers and on a high level, describing to them how the system works. Or
okay. And then you'd prefer probably like a guideline for people who are actually doing the praise quant in the moment to just kind of have something to reference while they're doing it.
Yeah, maybe I think that is not even a free form text, is more like a number of bullet points. So maybe we can nail that down ourselves to begin with, at least.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, I can get most of the information. I think from between the forum posts and the documentation that you already have, I can put together something reference document for people who are praise quantifier.
So that would be the so the quantification reference, like this is how it works to quantify. just a bunch of small number of bullet points.
And will you be there for the first praise quant?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I think the best way to go about it is just to kind of be there if you're going to be doing like a walkthrough for it, just to kind of document that walkthrough with everybody for the first praise quant and try to develop some documentation around it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'll start a document with some bullet points, and we can sync that with you, Mitch, and we can use that for the quantification. Do some sort of either we do an async onboarding session, or we do a live session with the quantifiers for those who want.
Sorry, do like a live quantification session. Like we can we'll do the first quant. We'll have like something where people can join in and answer, ask questions.
Yeah, like now we open the period for quantification at this time, and at that time we also do a short session for everyone to get started. So just connect if you like and ask questions and get started, and we do, and then you can continue by yourself.
Yeah, I think that was really valuable, the one that we did during the test quants, and the fact that it was recorded, I think provided a lot of value for people who were coming in to trying to understand what they're supposed to do.
Mm.
So definitely next week, probably early next week, we can try and set something up where whoever's able to join can join, and then we can answer questions and do some quantification together.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I haven't taken any notes as usual, but I will look at the recording and because now it feels like we have made a few decisions and planned some stuff about SourceGrid and etc. Do we have anything else to talk about? I'm at least I'm excited about doing the first real quant soon. It has been a long time coming, and I'm happy that we have the system is online now and feels snappy and looks okay, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just updating the issue.
No, I'm interpreting the silence as everyone agreeing. Everyone else is also super excited. Okay. So unless we have any other issues to bring up, then we will cut this meeting short for 15 minutes and let everyone get back to whatever they were doing before.
Nice.